The sky above the kingdom of Varel was always calm. Floating high above the green clouds of the planet Niren, the royal city shone like a gem. Tall towers made of crystal touched the soft winds, and sunlight danced over silver bridges. The people of Varel had lived in peace for many generations, proud of their beauty, wisdom, and strength. They believed they had seen all that the stars had to offer. They were wrong. One morning, the peace was broken. A silver streak tore across the sky. It was fast. Too fast for the watchers on the tower to track. The sound of fire followed it. People looked up. A burning object crashed into the royal gardens near the edge of the palace. Trees shook. Birds flew in all directions. Guards were sent at once. What they found was strange and silent. A small pod stood in the middle of broken flowers. It was smooth, round, and covered in ash. The door of the pod opened slowly. Letting out a soft hiss, a figure stepped out. He was tall, dressed in a simple suit, and his face was not like theirs. His skin was different. His eyes were tired but alert. He looked around, confused but calm. It was a human. The guards raised their light spears. The stranger raised both. Hands in peace. He did not run or fight. He just stood there, waiting. The captain of the guard stepped forward. "Who are you?" he asked. The stranger answered with a clear voice. "My name is Tom. I come from Earth." "I mean no harm." No one spoke for a moment. The name he spoke was old. Earth was a place from legends. Some believed it had fallen long ago. Others thought it was just a story told to children. Yet here stood someone claiming to be from there. The guards took Tom into the palace. He did not resist as he walked through the glowing halls. He looked around with quiet wonder. Everything was so clean, so bright. Floating lights followed the walls, and soft music played in the distance. He had never seen anything like it. At the center of the palace was the royal court. The queen sat on a high seat made of silver stone. She was tall and proud, wearing robes of blue and gold. Her eyes were sharp. Around her stood the nobles, dressed in fine cloth, whispering among themselves. When Tom entered, the court fell silent. The queen looked at him for a long time. "Is it true?" she asked. "You are human?" Tom nodded. "I am," he said. "Earth was lost." The queen said, "No ship has come from your world in more than 100 years." Tom lowered his eyes for a moment. "Earth still lives," he said. "But we are not what we were. The stars are not kind to travelers." The nobles murmured. Some were afraid. Others were curious. None of them had seen a human before. Humans were known to be brave, clever, and sometimes wild. To them, Tom looked calm but strong. From a high balcony, a young woman watched the scene quietly. It was Princess Lyra, daughter of the queen. Her long hair floated in the breeze, and her eyes followed Tom with interest. She had studied the stories of Earth as a child. She had dreamed of seeing one of its people. Now one stood below her. Real and alive. The queen stood. "You are in our kingdom without permission," she said. "You could be a spy or worse. Why should we not send you back into the sky?" Tom looked up at her. "I came here by mistake," he said. "My ship was damaged. I saw your world and hoped for help. I asked for nothing but time to fix my ship. I will leave if that is your will." His voice was steady. He did not beg. He spoke with simple honesty. The queen narrowed her eyes. "We will decide what to do with you," she said. "Until then, you will be kept in the crystal cell." Tom bowed slightly. "I understand." Guards led him away. As he passed under the balcony, he looked up for a brief moment and met the eyes of Princess Lyra. She did not look away. Later that day, the queen met with her council. Some wanted Tom questioned more. Others thought he should be sent back at once. Only one voice remained quiet, Lyra's. That evening, the princess walked alone to the garden where Tom's pod had fallen. The ground was still scorched, but among the ashes, she found something, a small metal case, half buried. Inside it were pictures, worn and old. One showed a blue planet with white clouds. Another showed people smiling, standing under a tree. Lyra looked at the photo for a long time. That night, she asked the guards to open the door to the crystal cell. Tom was sitting on the floor, resting. "You're the princess," he said when he saw her. She nodded. "I wanted to see the human who fell from the sky," she said. "And now you have." Tom said. Lyra smiled just a little. "Tell me," she said, "what is Earth really like?" Tom looked at her kindly. "It is not perfect," he said, "but it is home. We build, we fall, we rise again. We do not give up easily." She sat down near the clear wall between them. "Tell me everything," she said. So he did. The next morning, the palace was quiet, but inside the crystal cell, Tom waited. He did not know what would happen next outside. The sounds of the palace carried softly the gentle hum of voices, the distant footsteps of guards, and the soft breeze through open windows. Princess Lyra returned early. This time, she came with a small wooden box. She placed it gently near the glass and smiled. "I brought something," she said. "You might like it." Tom looked at the box. It was plain, but inside there were fresh fruits and simple food, different from what he knew but kind. He nodded in thanks. "Thank you," he said softly. Lyra looked at him closely. She saw not just a stranger, but someone who carried stories deeper than the stars. "Tell me about Earth," she said. "What is it like now?" Tom thought for a moment. His memories came alive in his mind. Cities bright with lights, forests thick and green, people living, working, loving, and sometimes fighting. Earth was a place of contrasts. "It is a world of many colors," he said. "Some places are full of noise and movement. Others are quiet and still. People live in small homes or great cities. We have machines that fly in the sky and others that dive deep into the oceans." Lyra listened, fascinated. She could not imagine a world so different from her own, where cities floated in the clouds and sunlight was bent by magic and science. "Do people still believe in stars?" she asked. Tom smiled. "Yes," he said. "We look at the stars and wonder. Some say they are old fires burning far away. Others believe they are doors to new worlds. We still dream." The princess's eyes shone. "That is why you came," she said. "To find a new dream." Tom nodded. "My ship was damaged," he said. "I did not plan to come here, but now that I am here, I want to learn. I want to understand your people." Lyra stepped closer to the glass. "Our people have lived here for thousands of years," she said. "We believe in balance, between light and shadow, between power and peace." Tom looked at the crystal walls around him and felt the calm strength of the palace. It was different from the rough life he knew, but he felt hope in it. "You must be brave," Lyra said. "The queen will ask many questions. She fears what she does not understand." Tom nodded. "I'm ready." Later that day, Tom was brought to the great hall. The queen sat again on her throne, and many nobles filled the room. The air was thick with curiosity and caution. The queen's eyes were sharp. "You say you come from Earth," she said. "How do we know this is true? Tell us something no one here could know." Tom took a deep breath. "Earth's history is long," he said. "Many stories are lost, but some remain. I can tell you about the old tower, a place where the sky meets the land. It was made by people who wanted to reach the stars. It no longer stands, but it was real." The nobles whispered among themselves. Some nodded. Others looked doubtful. The queen raised her hand for silence. "You speak well," she said. "But why come here? What do you want?" Tom looked around the room. He saw fear, hope, and curiosity mixed together. "I want to live in peace," he said. "I want to share what I know and learn what you know. I do not want to fight." The queen's expression did not change, but the room grew quiet. No one had expected such honesty. Princess Lyra watched from the side. She felt a deep respect for the human. He was not like the stories of fierce invaders or wild explorers. He was something different. After the meeting, Lyra returned to Tom's cell. "You did well," she said softly. They listened. Tom smiled. "I only spoke the truth," he said. "That is all I have." Lyra sat down next to the glass. "I want to help you," she said. "But you must understand, my mother will not accept you easily." Tom looked at her with steady eyes. "I'm not afraid." That night, Lyra stayed longer than before. She shared more about her people, how they used the winds to float, how they shaped light into art and tools. Tom told her about Earth's storms, its quiet mornings, and its people who never stopped hoping. They both found comfort in the stories. The next day, the palace was filled with whispers. Some nobles spoke of sending Tom away. Others said he could teach them new things. The queen remained silent, watching. Then, a sudden alarm broke the calm. A scout came running. Breathless, strange lights spotted near the border, he said. "We must be ready." The queen stood, her face hard. "Prepare the defenses," she ordered. "We cannot risk danger from any side." Lyra looked at Tom. She wanted to say something, but the moment passed. Tom nodded. "If your people fear, I will stand with you." The queen's eyes found them both. "You will see soon if your words mean anything," she said. Days passed. Tom was kept in the crystal cell, but his presence began to change the palace. People talked about Earth, about hope, about new possibilities. Lyra visited often. One day, she brought a small seed from Earth, something Tom had carried. It was a simple seed, but full of promise. "Plant it here," she said. "Let it grow." Tom took the seed and looked at the soil near the cell. With gentle hands, he placed the seed in the earth. "This is a new beginning," he said. The days went by, and small green shoots began to appear. It was a sign that something good could grow even in a strange place. But the queen remained watchful. One evening, she called Lyra to her chamber. "Your kindness to this human worries me," she said. "You forget your place." Lyra stood firm. "He is not a threat," she said. "He is a friend." The queen's voice grew cold. "You are my daughter," she said. "You will obey." Lyra met her mother's eyes. "I will do what is right," she said. The room fell silent. Outside, the stars shone bright, and the small green plant pushed through the soil toward the light. A new story was beginning. Days turned into weeks inside the palace of Varel. Tom remained in his crystal cell. But something had changed. The cold walls no longer felt empty. A small green plant, the one Tom had planted, grew strong and bright. It was a quiet symbol of hope, a sign that life could take root even in unexpected places. Princess Lyra visited Tom every day. Their talks grew longer, and their bond grew deeper. She was no longer just a curious princess. She had become a friend to the human from Earth. One afternoon, the sky above the palace was soft with light. Lyra came to the crystal cell carrying a small wooden box. Inside was a simple book filled with pictures. She sat beside the glass wall and showed the images to Tom. "Look," she said, pointing to a picture of a shining city floating on clouds. "This is Varel. This is where I live." Tom smiled as he studied the pictures. He saw floating towers, glowing gardens, and people moving with grace. "It is beautiful," he said. "Your world is like a dream." Lyra laughed softly. "We live high above the green clouds," she said. "Our people have learned to live with the winds and light. But we also live with rules, many rules." Tom nodded. "I have seen many worlds," he said. "Some are free, some are strict, but all have people who want to be understood." Lyra looked at him with a thoughtful gaze. "Do you think I am brave?" she asked quietly. Tom looked directly into her eyes. "Very brave," he said. "You ask questions when others only fear. You see the truth when others only see danger." The princess smiled, a small warmth growing inside her. It was the first time in many weeks that she felt truly understood. That evening, the crystal cell door opened. A guard came to escort Tom to the palace gardens. It was an unexpected kindness from the queen. Tom looked surprised but did not hesitate. He stepped outside, feeling the warm air and soft grass under his feet. Lyra was waiting by a fountain. Her eyes brightened when she saw him. "Come," she said. "Let me show you the gardens." Together, they walked among tall trees and flowers that glowed softly at twilight. Birds with feathers like silver wings sang quiet songs. The palace seemed like a world apart from Earth, but Tom felt at home in the gentle beauty. They sat by a pond filled with sparkling water. Lyra reached into her pocket and took out the small seed that had grown into the green plant in the cell. Your seed has grown well, she said. It is strong. Like you, Tom smiled. Life finds a way, he said. For a moment, silence filled the air. Then Lyra spoke again. Tell me more about your people, she said. What do they believe? Tom thought carefully. Many believe in kindness, he said, that even in the hardest times, helping others is the greatest strength. Some believe that hope is a light that can never be broken. Lyra nodded slowly. That sounds like us, she said. We try to live with balance, but sometimes balance is hard to find. Tom looked at her with understanding. We all face hard choices, he said, but the ones we make show who we truly are. As the stars began to shine in the night sky, Lyra and Tom sat quietly. They felt a connection that went beyond words, a feeling that they were part of something larger than themselves. Days later, the palace was filled with new energy. The small green plant had grown taller, its leaves shining in the crystal light. It had become a symbol of hope for many in the palace, a sign that change was possible. But not everyone welcomed change. One morning, the queen summoned Lyra to her chambers. Her face was stern. You spend too much time with the human, she said. Your duty is to your people, not to a stranger. Lyra stood tall. Tom is not a stranger, she said. He is kind and honest. He teaches me new things. The queen's eyes narrowed. You risk everything for someone you barely know, she said. Our kingdom is strong because we follow the old ways. Lyra's voice was steady. Sometimes the old ways need new light, she said. The queen's expression softened for a moment, but she said no more. Later that day, Lyra returned to Tom's cell. She brought a small piece of cloth and some paint. Together, they worked on a small painting, a simple image of the green plant growing between them. Tom smiled as he held the brush. Art is a language without words, he said. It shows what we feel inside. Lyra nodded. Double quotes, yes. It helps us understand each other. Their hands brushed as they worked, and for a moment, neither spoke. It was a quiet, peaceful moment that neither wanted to end. But peace was fragile. Rumors began to spread through the palace. Some nobles whispered that Tom was a spy sent to weaken the kingdom. Others feared that the human's presence might bring danger. One night, the palace alarms sounded. The queen's guards rushed through the halls. Lyra heard the news. Strange ships had been seen near the borders of their kingdom. They were not Earth ships, but something unknown. The queen called a council. She spoke of danger and war. The nobles agreed that the kingdom must prepare to defend itself. Lyra felt a cold weight in her heart. She worried for Tom and for the future she had begun to hope for. She found Tom in his cell. His eyes were calm. I will stay, he said. I will protect this place with you. Lyra smiled through tears. You are braver than many here, she said. Together, they looked out over the city from her balcony. The lights of Varel glowed like stars. Below them, the wind whispered softly, carrying a promise of change. That night, Lyra dreamed of two worlds, one filled with stars and ancient light, the other with blue skies and endless hope. In her dream, they were joined by a small green plant growing strong between them. When she woke, she knew that no matter what came next, she and Tom would face it together. The bond between the princess and the human had become something rare and powerful. It was a bridge between worlds, a light in the dark, and the story was only just beginning. The palace of Varel was no longer the quiet place it had once been. Whispers filled the halls like the soft wind before a storm. The news of strange ships near the kingdom's border had spread quickly. The queen's face was hard, and her orders were clear. Prepare for defense. Princess Lyra walked through the palace gardens, her thoughts heavy. The small green plant, once a sign of hope, now seemed fragile against the growing tension. She thought about Tom, the human she had come to trust and care for. But she also thought about her people and the weight of her duties. That evening, the queen summoned Lyra to the great hall. The nobles gathered, their faces serious. The queen stood at the center, her voice firm. Our kingdom faces a threat, she said. The strange ships approach. We must protect Varel. No outsider, no matter who they are, can be allowed to bring danger here. Lyra felt her heart tighten. She knew the queen meant Tom. The human had become a symbol of hope for some, but a threat for others. I disagree, Lyra said, stepping forward. Tom is not a danger. He is a friend. We should learn from him, not fear him. The room grew silent. The nobles stared at the princess. Some whispered that she was too young to understand. Others nodded. Quietly, sharing her hope. The queen's eyes flashed with anger. You forget your place, she said. You are a princess of Virel. Your loyalty must be to your people, not to a human stranger. Lyra met her mother's gaze without fear. My loyalty is to peace, she said, and to truth. The queen's expression did not soften. Instead, she raised her hand. You will end your visits with the human, she ordered, or face the consequences. Lyra's heart ached, but she did not obey. That night, she made her way to the crystal cell. The guards watched her closely, but she spoke with calm. I will visit, she told them. Inside, Tom waited. You should not risk this, he said quietly. Lyra smiled gently. I must. You are my friend. They talked for hours, sharing stories and dreams. Tom told her about Earth's storms and calm mornings. Lyra spoke of her people's hopes and fears. But outside, the palace was divided. Some nobles believed Tom could help them face the coming threat. Others wanted him gone. The queen's order was clear, but so was the growing tension between the old ways and new hope. One night, Lyra and Tom met in secret at the abandoned observatory on the edge of the city. The place was old and forgotten, filled with ancient machines and broken stars. It is safe here, Lyra said. We can talk freely. Tom looked around, touched by the quiet beauty of the place. I want to stay, he said. With you. Lyra took his hand. We will find a way, she promised. But the queen's forces were watching. Drones flew silently over the city, searching for any sign of rebellion. The day came when the queen sent guards to the observatory. They found Lyra and Tom together. You disobey the queen, the captain said. Come with us. Lyra looked at Tom. Will you go? She asked. Tom nodded. I will face what comes, together. They followed the guards back to the palace. The halls felt colder. Now, the queen waited, her eyes sharp. You have broken my trust, she said. Lyra stood tall. I follow my heart, she said, and the truth I see. The queen sighed deeply. You must choose, she said, your duty to Virel, or your loyalty to this human. Lyra's answer was clear. My loyalty is to both. The queen's silence filled the room. No one had expected such courage. That night, Tom and Lyra were placed in separate rooms. Guards watched them closely, but their bond was stronger than walls or orders. From her window, Lyra looked at the stars and thought of Earth. She thought of Tom's words. Hope is a light that cannot be broken. In the quiet of the night, she made a decision. She would not give up on peace. She would not give up on Tom. And she would find a way to bring their worlds together, no matter the cost. The palace was quiet, but filled with tension. Princess Lyra sat alone in her chamber, her thoughts racing. She had been separated from Tom, and the queen's strict orders weighed heavily on her. Yet, her heart remained strong. She knew she had to find a way to protect Tom and the kingdom. Tom, too, was in his own room, guarded but calm. He thought of Earth and the many times his people had faced danger and still found hope. He believed they could overcome this challenge together. Late at night, a soft knock came at Lyra's door. A trusted servant, Mira, slipped inside quietly. Princess, Mira whispered, there are those in the palace who want to help you and Tom. They believe in peace. Lyra's eyes shone with hope. Tell me more, she said. Mira nodded and told her about a small group of nobles who had begun to question the queen's hard line. They believed that welcoming new ideas, even from a human, could make Virel stronger. They want to meet in secret, Mira said. Will you come? Lyra did not hesitate. Yes, she said. We must try. That night, Lyra left her chamber in secret. She moved through the quiet halls, careful to avoid the guards. Mira led her to a hidden room beneath the palace, where a group of nobles waited. They spoke in low voices, sharing their fears and hopes. "We cannot face the unknown with fear," said one noble. "Tom brings knowledge. We must listen." Lyra stood tall. "We want peace," she said, "not war. But we need a plan." The nobles agreed to help. They would work together to protect Tom and to prepare for the threat at the kingdom's border. Meanwhile, Tom was not idle. Using his knowledge of technology from Earth, he began repairing parts of his damaged ship. He had only small tools, but his mind was sharp. He hoped to fix the ship soon so he could leave peacefully. But Tom also wanted to help Varel. He shared ideas with Lyra about defense. Not with weapons, but with shields and barriers that could protect without harm. Lyra listened carefully. She saw how Tom's ideas could change everything. One day, as she walked through the gardens, Lyra noticed the small green plant had grown tall and strong. It was a sign that hope could grow even in hard places. She touched the leaves gently. "This plant, and I will not give up," she said quietly. Days passed, and the secret group grew stronger. They met often, planning how to show the queen that fear was not the only answer. Then, one morning, the scouts reported that the strange ships had come closer. They hovered near the edge of the kingdom but did not attack. The queen called for a meeting of the council. Her voice was firm. "We prepare for war," she said. "We cannot risk our people's safety." Lyra stood. "Wait," she said. "We do not know if they mean harm. We should try to communicate." The queen's eyes flashed. "You are young and naive," she said. "War keeps us safe." The room was divided. Some nobles agreed with Lyra, others with the queen. The tension grew. That night, Lyra went to Tom's room. She was allowed to visit, but under watch, still. Their time together gave them strength. "We must find a way to stop this," she said. "Without fighting." Tom nodded. "There's always a way," he said. "On Earth, we believe in peace, even when it is hard." Lyra looked out the window at the stars. "We will try," she said. Together, they planned to send a message to the unknown ships. They hoped to show that Varel wished for peace. With help from the secret nobles, they built a signal, a pattern of light and sound meant to be understood by any traveler. When the message was ready, Lyra and Tom sent it from the highest tower. In the palace, the light shone bright and clear into the sky. Days passed. The kingdom waited. Then, one morning, a ship unlike any other landed near the palace. From it came a being not like the people of Varel or Tom's Earth. It was tall and graceful. With eyes full of wisdom, the queen met the visitor with cautious respect. The visitor spoke in a calm voice. "We come in peace," they said. "We watched your message and wished to learn." The tension in the palace eased. The threat was not war, but a chance for new friendship. Lyra smiled at Tom. Together, they had helped change the future. But the journey was not over. Many questions remained. Who were these new visitors? What did they want? And could peace last? The story of Varel, the human, and the stars had only just begun. The arrival of the strange visitor brought new energy to the palace of Varel. The great hall, once filled with tension and fear, now buzzed with cautious curiosity. Nobles whispered and watched as the visitor, tall and graceful, moved with quiet confidence. The queen stood by the entrance, her eyes steady and watchful. The visitor bowed deeply. "I am Kalen," they said, voice calm and clear. "I come from the Zarin people, travelers of many worlds. We saw your message and wish to know if peace is truly your desire." The queen nodded slowly. "We seek peace," she said, "but we are wary of strangers. Our world has been tested by war and betrayal." Kalen smiled softly. "Then we have much to learn from each other," they said. Princess Lyra stood beside Tom, her heart filled with hope. The visitor's words were a chance to build bridges, not walls. The days that followed were filled with meetings and talks. Kalen shared stories of the Zarin people, their journeys among stars, their love for knowledge, and their belief in harmony. Tom listened carefully, feeling a connection to this new friend. He thought of Earth's many cultures and how, despite differences, people could find common ground. The queen, though cautious, allowed Kalen to stay in the palace. She watched closely, seeking signs of truth in their words. Lyra took every chance to learn from Kaelin. They spoke of stars, of worlds beyond imagination, and of hope. One evening, under the soft glow of the crystal gardens, Lyra asked Kaelin a question she had long held in her heart. "Why did you come here?" she asked. Kaelin looked at her with deep eyes. "We travel to find those who seek peace," they said. "Your message showed courage and hope. We came to see if that hope could grow." Lyra smiled. "Hope is stronger than fear," she said. Kaelin nodded. "Yes, but it must be nurtured. It must be chosen every day." Meanwhile, the palace faced new challenges. Some nobles still doubted the visitor and the human. They whispered of old fears, of dangers unknown. The queen held council and asked Tom to share more about Earth. He spoke of people's struggles, their hopes, and their dreams for a better future. His words moved many. Slowly, the walls of suspicion began to fall. One day, a message came from the border scouts. The strange ships had returned, but this time, they carried more travelers, peaceful emissaries like Kaelin. The queen met with her council again. "This is a chance," she said, "a chance to build alliances, not fight wars." Lyra stood with pride. "We can be stronger together," she said. The days grew brighter. Lyra and Tom walked in the gardens, talking of what the future might hold. Tom showed her Earth stories, tales of courage and kindness. Lyra shared the wisdom of Varel, the balance of light and shadow, the power of peace. Their bond was now a symbol for many in the king. Tom, a sign that differences could be bridges, not walls. But with hope came responsibility. The queen reminded Lyra of the challenges ahead. "You must be ready," she said. "Peace is fragile. It can be broken by fear or anger." Lyra nodded. "I understand." One night, as stars sparkled above, Kaelin invited Lyra and Tom to the observatory. The old machines hummed softly, and the stars shone bright through the glass dome. Kaelin pointed to the sky. "There are many worlds out there," they said, "some filled with light, some with shadow. Your story is just one among many." Tom looked up, feeling both small and part of something vast. "We are not alone," he said. Kaelin smiled. "No, and that is why peace matters. Together." They made plans to welcome the travelers from the Zerran ships. They prepared celebrations, meetings, and shared hopes for the future. The palace was alive with new energy. The small green plant in the garden had grown even taller, its leaves reaching toward the light. It was a reminder that even in difficult times, hope could grow strong. Lyra stood beside Tom and Kaelin, looking out at the kingdom she loved. The journey had been hard, but the future was bright. Together, they would face what came next. Together, they would build a new story among the stars. The palace of Varel was filled with light and excitement. The arrival of the Zerran travelers had brought a new beginning for the kingdom. The once cold halls now echoed with laughter and music. People from many worlds had come together in friendship. And hoped out Princess Lyra stood on the balcony, looking out at the glowing city below. Beside her stood Tom and Kaelin. The stars above shone brighter than ever, as if celebrating the moment. "This is only the start," Lyra said softly. "There is much to learn, much to build." Tom smiled. "Together, we can make a future where all can live in peace." Kaelin nodded. "The stars are many, but the path to peace is one. It must be chosen with courage and kindness." Inside the great hall, the queen sat with the council. The fear and suspicion that had once filled the room had faded. Now, there was understanding and hope. The queen looked at Lyra and Tom, her eyes soft. "You have shown us a new way," she said, "one that will guide Varel into the future." Lyra felt a warmth in her heart. She had faced many challenges, but she never gave up on hope. The days passed with busy preparations for the Festival of Unity, a celebration to welcome the Zerran travelers and honor the new friendships. The gardens were decorated with lights and flowers from many worlds. Tom and Kaelin worked side by side, sharing stories and ideas. Tom taught about Earth's simple joys, music, art, and the power of kindness. Kaelin shared wisdom from the stars, lessons of harmony and balance. Lyra walked among the people, her heart full. She saw smiles where once there were frowns. She heard laughter instead of whispers. At the center of the festival was the small, green plant that had grown so tall. It was a symbol of the journey they had all taken, from fear to friendship, from doubt to hope. The night of the festival arrived. The palace was alive with music and light. People danced and sang together, their voices joining like a chorus under the stars. Lyra stood with Tom and Kaelin, watching the joy around them. She took Tom's hand and smiled. "Thank you," she said. Tom looked at her with gentle eyes. "No, thank you for believing in me and us." Suddenly, the crowd grew quiet. The queen stood and raised her hand. "My people," she said, "this festival is not just a celebration. It is a promise that we will choose peace, no matter the challenges, that we will stand together as one." The people cheered, their voices filling the night sky. From the crowd, a young noble stepped forward. He carried a small device, a gift from the Zirin travelers. It was a star-shaped light that shone with colors from many worlds. "This light is for Varel," he said, "to remind us that no matter how far the stars, we are connected." Lyra took the light and held it high. The colors spread across the sky like a ribbon of hope. Later, as the festival continued, Tom and Lyra walked through the quiet gardens. The small green plant was glowing softly in the moonlight. "I never thought I would find a place like this," Tom said. "A place where I belong." Lyra smiled. "You belong here, and in every world that chooses hope." They sat together, looking up at the stars. The journey had been hard, but the future was bright. Kaelin joined them, their eyes shining. "The stars will watch over you," Kaelin said, "but the light you carry must come from within." Lyra nodded. "We will keep the light alive." As the night grew deep, the three friends sat together, feeling the quiet strength of friendship and hope. In the days that followed, the kingdom of Varel grew stronger. The new friendships with the Zirin travelers opened doors to new knowledge and peace. Tom found a place not just as a visitor, but as part of the kingdom's future. Princess Lyra led with courage and kindness, a true bridge between worlds. The queen, once cautious, now stood beside her daughter, proud of the new path their people had chosen. The small green plant in the palace garden became a living symbol, a reminder that even in the hardest times, hope can grow strong. In the story of the princess and the human, of Varel and the stars, became a story told in many worlds, a story of courage, friendship, and a new beginning. The stars shone brightly that night and always after. They watched over a kingdom where peace was not just a dream, but a chosen way of life. And the human who married the princess was no longer just a stranger. He was family, a part of the great story of hope that stretched across the stars.